You say comic books, I say turtles. Why? Because we're talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of the classic comic book adaptations to all types of media, cinema, video games, pizza. And today I'm going to talk about the one for the Sega Genesis, one of the two, I believe. This one is the one that is a cult classic. If you look up best Genesis games of all time, this will pop up there. It is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Hyperstone Heist. I did not play this back in the day, but I did play it on the Turtles collection by Konami that has released recently. And it's been a fun way to play. For the record, the only other Turtles game that I have dabbled with enough was with you guys, and it was the recent game that came out for all the modern platforms, and we played it online. It is a map out Lost to Time. We have played it, and it exists somewhere. Perhaps swindled by this Hyperstone heist. We got heisted. The game came out in 1992, December, and I'll read you some of the plot. So April O'Neil is reporting from Liberty Island, very clearly New York. You see the Statue of Liberty. When in a sudden flash of light, she and her audience witness Manhattan Island. I love Manhattan Island. Starting to shrink. Shredder hijacks the airwaves and announces to the world that this was only a demonstration of the power of the Hyperstone, the treasure of Dimension X. With the Hyperstone in his possession, he now has the power to take over the world. Turtles have no choice but to go after Shredder and stop him. And so here we are. Pick your turtle: Leonardo, Raffaello, Donatello. Who's the fourth? Da Vinci?
Wait.
Yeah, Da Vinci.
Wait, who'd you say? Raphael? Who? Say your three.
Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael,
Michelangelo,
and Da Vinci. No, Da Vinci.
Big old Mick, the Michelob Ultra. This is a pretty cool option, is that you can pick from the four turtles, and you can play this 2-player co-op, but each of the turtles plays with different weapons. So one has 2 swords, one has these like pitchfork trident short looking things, another one has a baton, and I didn't catch the last one. I only played with 2 of them. I tried the swords and the baton. I like this for a beat 'em up because I feel like most beat 'em ups is just your hands. What's up?
Do you not know who, like, the Ninja Turtles?
No.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I just feel so old now.
I don't know.
I feel so fucking old.
I know them, but I didn't like follow the turtles. I watched the live action one back in the day, and that was like my experience with them.
Yeah.
But I never went like, yeah, I'm a big Turtles guy. But I still know it as like kind of one of the iconic beat 'em ups most people talk about, mostly like from the NES era.
It's okay, Teddy. You made me very sad. You can keep going.
Sorry to disappoint you.
No,
but I'm playing it now.
No, I just feel very old because when I was a kid, Ninja Turtles was fucking huge. Like I have pictures of myself at like 4 years old with headbands because I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I guess part of it too is like, you know how you don't like sand?
Yeah.
Like I live in New York, so I don't.
You don't like turtles?
Like I don't care much for New York representation.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's not an age thing. Maybe it's like a local thing.
Yeah, probably. I do like pizza, and there's lots of that in this game. Actually, could use some more. So I'll talk about the mechanics. I really like this for a beat 'em up because you get good reach with your weapons, and the trade-off is they're not as powerful as like a pickup item in, say, Streets of Rage. But one problem I tend to have with beat 'em ups is your range with your attacks is not good enough. I never really felt that as a problem in this one with either of the characters I played as. And I like some of the mechanics too. It's not just simple like swing, jump, and then the other option is like power attack. Because the Genesis controller would have 3 buttons. Depending on how you input directional pads, it kind of plays like a fighting game. Like you can pull off certain maneuvers, like a sword swing, or when you jump, you can do several layers of attacks, like a floaty kind of sword slash jump, or like a short range, like kind of like stabbing attack. There's a couple types of jumping attacks you can do, and it's pretty good at clearing the screen. The big kind of gimmick here, I guess, is also the kill counter. I think what they're going for here is just so many enemies on screen, and they tell you how many in a bar at the top. So I
Mm.
remember just playing the first level. I had taken out like 160 like ninjas and some robots. Then there's a final boss at the end. So I think they just want to give you tons of beat 'em up action, and that really carries you through a lot of the game. Like, this is a good kinda, like, button masher game, and even when you get up close to the guys, you can, like, pick them up and start slamming them back and forth. I do think that it might play a little easier with, the co-op enabled. I only played it single player, and I did have some issues there, which, I'll get to. I'll talk a little bit about some of the options for, like, items and stuff. You can pick up pizzas, which restore your health. You have this huge health bar, but every enemy will take either 1 or 2 damage from you, depending on their attack type. And what you can do is you can actually use your power attack, and it takes some health from you, but it does more damage. So what I would do is I would wait till I see a pizza box, and then I would let the guys kind of crowd around me, start using that power attack, and then go refill back to max health. There's a bomb pickup, which puts you in this kind of spinning slash mode, which takes out most enemies, but it lasts for like 5 to 10 seconds. And then there'd be a boss at the end who would have a much bigger health bar. You'd see like 5 mini bars, but each one like carries like a good 5 to 10 hits. So you'd really need to be hacking away at these guys. They're really simple though. Like their attacks would mostly be like charge from one side of the screen to the other, and then when you get up too close, they might like throw you away. That was kind of tricky. Another guy throws a bunch of darts at you and has ninjas coming out from the woodworks too. And then what happens is there's only 5 levels in this game, but remember how many enemies there are, that it kind of drags out a bit. Stage 4 is a gauntlet, so you fight like those 3 bosses again, and you only have a limited number of lives. I even with max lives and 4 credits, found myself running very close to losing all 4 lives in 1 credit on that stage. And what happens is when you have to use another credit, it usually starts you from the beginning of the level unless their level has a checkpoint. But like for instance, with that gauntlet one, there is no checkpoint. So you would have to start from the beginning of the level. And oftentimes too, it's like, well, if you just carried over like 2 lives from the previous credit, well, you're going to die a little sooner. So not only are you killing like close to 500, 600, 700 enemies, you're doing that plus however many you needed to restart to. So that's kind of tricky. But I think if I was playing co-player, it wouldn't be an option or a problem, I should say, because you'd have like your 5 lives and your character, your co-player would have their 5 lives. Also, you get to earn extra lives like every 100 lives or so, or 100 kills. I stopped counting after like the first 100 though, so I was wondering like what those level up numbers are. I just found that the game kind of drags a little bit, but it's still pretty cool for a beat 'em up. I'm right at the last stage right now, and I'm about halfway through it, but I did just have to use a credit to restart at the checkpoint. So Shredder, here I come. But that's about my experience with these turtles I don't really know a lot about.
Dude, turtles are my freaking life as a kid.
Yeah.
Michelangelo uses
turtles.
nunchucks, nunchaku or whatever they call it.
Nunchaku, yeah.
Um,
I want to say it was nunchucks, but then like the other guy had the short like tridents, and I was like, is it nunchucks?
yeah. Raphael
cool.
uses the
I
sai.
used to, thank you. Yeah, I used to have a pair of those somewhere.
What is it?
It's called sais. They're like the 3-pronged things. They're meant to, in like classical combat, they're meant to counter swords because you would like catch the sword and then twist, and then they would lose their sword. But he just uses them as weapons for. It's funny. Turtles are always funny because like half of the characters can't use their weapons because like then it would kill people and stab them. So they just use them like situationally, like to cut down a rope that holds boxes that fall on enemies.
Yeah.
Always like
that was the
like
only
Casey,
thing in this game is like
hockey.
you're using swords and you're like killing common enemies, but you barely feel it because they take so many hits. It's so your sword just feels like not a sword. It just feels like a
rod.
Like you're like a blunt object that you're hitting them with.
Yeah.
I always like Casey Jones because he just uses hockey equipment.
Yeah. Oh my god. So this game, I'm reading up on it here. It looks like it was based heavily on Turtles in Time.
Yeah, it's like a conversion.
Okay. And then but the levels are
Turtles in Time.
different to a point, and they have like they have elements from the other arcade game, like the most famous one. Like it's got like kind of it's almost like a weird merger of those two, from at least from what I'm reading. Sounds good to me. I love these Turtles beat 'em ups. They're so much fun.
Grab
Do
that
you have the
collection, dude.
Cowabunga collection?
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
have
right.
it because I mean, I like playing them with people. But if we want to get on that, I will totally
I
get
don't know.
that going.
Those might have
Several of
online.
them
Those are
have online
digital
multiplayer. I can
clips.
tell you which ones.
Okay.
Okay.
The arcade version has online. Turtles in Time does. Turtles 3 does. Turtles 4 does. This one does. Hyperstone Heist does. And Tournament Fighters does. The rest are not online.
Well, a lot of the rest are like Game Boy games too.
Didn't they release a new Ninja Turtles game just like or they're going to in like this month or a couple months ago? Like they're very recent one coming
Oh
out.
yeah, I've seen something about that.
Because I had a good time when we played the other one that didn't exist.
Yeah, that's lost to time. The Shredder's Revenge playthrough.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of levels too. There's like 15 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was long.
I'm gonna get you the list right now.
Yeah, if we want to
Yeah,
map some of these out or just play them for fun online, I am totally down. I love these.
That Cowabunga collection is great anyway because that's done by Digital Eclipse, who's been doing a lot of like the different stuff that like they did all the Mega Man and Street Fighter collections, and then recently they've done like all the Atari stuff where they like document a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, a lot of games. They've been doing like great work with like their compilations, so it was cool to see them get to do like TMNT as one of
It's
them.
true. Yeah, I did notice the Digital Eclipse logo. The most recent Turtles game that came out was from October 18th, and it's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed, and it's for all modern platforms.
That's the one you're talking about then.
Yeah.
I like my mutants leashed, just so we're all clear.
Yeah. You gotta. You can't have them off.
You have to leash your mutants.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you that I played the shitload out of Turtles in Time with my brother. So I mean, it looks like it's pretty similar to that. So this game's definitely good. And then did I ever tell you the story about the first one about me like ignoring my family to play the arcade one? So like I have family that's out in the Midwest or the Midwest. You call it the Midwest? I don't know. Whatever. They're in Chicago, and we would see them like once every 4 years. And we came over to their house one time, and I think I was 8. And me and my brother, we got in, we like said hi, we hugged, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, and if you ever get bored, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the NES downstairs." We immediately brushed them all off, went into their basement, and didn't leave for like 3 hours, just playing that game.
I remember this story.
Yeah,
you told this before, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It was insane. I look back at it like, is that even real? Like my dad should have beaten the shit out of he beat the shit out of me for so many things, but for that he just didn't care. Maybe I don't know. Just didn't even care that day.
How old were you?
Like 8. And yeah, we just
who cares?
completely blew off everybody.
Kids.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was
that's
so much
like
fun.
That's almost like what you want. That's like an adult is the kids to just go be preoccupied.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe that was the thought going on there. But my God, I loved that game. Ninja Turtles was everything to me. I had videos of it. I had toys. Yeah, I was just obsessed with Ninja Turtles. I probably told my parents I wanted to be one. I'm sure I did.
Do you know which ones from back in the day were 4-player? Any? Probably not, right?
Well, obviously, if you played it on arcade, they were 4-player. As for a home console, I didn't get a multi-tap for my Super Nintendo until way late, and I don't really have anybody else to play it with anyway, besides my brother. So I didn't really test that one. It's possible that it was 4-player, but I don't really know.
All right. Well, should we get to the chat?
Yeah. You.
Do we want to do it?
Yeah, I can do it. Terry said, not gonna lie, I thought it was Tessend for a minute there. I don't know what Tessend is.
He's talking about my Canadian accent.
Oh.
Another channel.
Oh, okay. Pizza sucks. Okay. Well, you're from England, so your opinion doesn't even.
Well, your pizza probably has fucking beans on it. Get out of here.
Yeah, British pizza probably. Yeah.
No opinion there. Best Genesis game of all time isn't really saying much. I feel like it kind of is. BIOS has never made it into my top 30. Ouch.
31 ain't bad.
Terry says, can I play as Bob Ross? That would be kind of funny, like more modern artists for the characters.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Roberto. Terry says most superhero stuff is set in New York. That's a good point. Like a lot of the superhero stuff, I mean, they might not be outright set there.
A lot of the Marvel-y stuff and like stuff like that.
I don't know. I think a lot of them do it.
Strange, maybe.
Like they like
DC.
I did like the Spider-Man movies from like the Tobey era, but it's just like, I just liked them. They weren't like same caliber to me as like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Well, like DC is like Metropolis, but it's basically New York, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like they still make up their own cities. They're all
right, but they're still like the format is New York.
They have like Metropolis. Obviously, they have Gotham. They have like West something. What is Flashes? It's like Westview. West. I don't know what it's called.
He's Detroit.
I think Detroit. I think it's just West City. I think it's just the name of his fucking city. It's just West City or something.
But like a lot of those are just they're basically New York. Like that's their.
I mean, you're making a city.
Like I don't know. Like I wouldn't call like Gotham a New York. I'd call that more like a Chicago or something.
I guess.
I don't know.
Chicago's like a little baby New York.
It's pretty depressing. I would call it Cleveland.
Cleveland, like Drew Carey's popping out.
You know what? I would probably feel safer in Gotham than I would Cleveland.
That's true.